When it comes to marketing, there are good examples and bad examples all around you that you can learn from. Of course, we have the great marketers of our time, like Steve Jobs with Apple, and Elon Musk with Tesla, and Richard Branson with Virgin. But we also have our share of sketchy, scary, and sometimes downright disturbing marketers, like the example I have for you today of the worst marketer in the world. So, let me tell you a story. We were sitting down for dinner the other night, and my 5-year-old, who just lost his very first tooth, wanted to know what the tooth fairy did with the teeth she collected. And I didn't know. So I did what any self-respecting modern-day person does and immediately consulted my devices in order to find the answer. In this case, I called upon Alexa. Bit of a side note here. The fact that I thought to call on Alexa and use voice search is actually a really powerful indicator of changing trends in consumer behavior. And voice search is only going to become more and increasingly powerful as we move into the future. But that's another story for another day. So let's get back to it. Anyway, when I did the search, when I asked Alexa what the tooth fairy did with all of the teeth she collected, well, to my horror, this was her response. The tooth fairy is believed to use the teeth to make jewelry, to grind the teeth into fairy dust and plant them in her garden, or consume them to get her magical powers. Now, the kid in me, with the emotional maturity of a 14-year-old, well, thought this was hilarious. The father in me was totally disturbed and was seriously considering never letting this little tooth-stealing psychopath back into our house ever again. But the marketer in me? Totally unsurprised. After all, this was the classic example of most businesses' marketing. They have a really good product or a really good service, but then they go and just mess it all up by not communicating it properly, not speaking the language of their customers, and not giving them what they truly want. More importantly, not fully understanding what the customers really don't want, so they can avoid that at all costs. In the case of the tooth fairy, the thought of a tiny fairy sneaking into my kid's bedroom in the middle of the night so they can eat his teeth, that totally freaked me out, which is a shame, because the tooth fairy has a pretty good service to offer. I mean, removing old, unused teeth and buying them for cold hard cash, well, that's a value proposition I can get behind. But how the offer is presented, well, leaves a whole lot to be desired. And this means the tooth fairy is leaving a whole lot of money on the table or under the pillow. So my open letter to the tooth fairy, or to anybody who's struggling to really clearly define and articulate their business's message, is to replace all of the complicated and unnecessary stuff with a nice, clean and clear and crisp and compelling offer. Maybe something along the lines of, you give us teeth, we give you cash that very same day. No hassle, no mess, no questions asked. Just teeth for cash. I mean, in all honesty, what the tooth fairy does with the teeth after the fact, that's her business. It's not up for me to know. But I'd still try to find a way to refine it a little bit. Maybe bake it into her mission statement or her vision statement and display it prominently on our website or fairy social media sites. We ensure every tooth we collect is handled with the utmost care and dealt with in a sustainable, environmentally friendly fashion that enriches the fairy community. Yeah. That'll do, and is pretty much guaranteed to have your kids knocking out their teeth for money for years to come. So my question to you is, can you think of anywhere in your business where you're overcomplicating or confusing, or possibly even scaring away your potential customers? Not in a, I'm gonna steal your teeth kind of way, but in a way that makes them feel unsure or uneasy or uncertain about working with you or your business. This is important to look at because confused customers don't buy, and it's not up to the customer to try to figure out what you do, or how it could help them, or why they should care. That's your job. And if you're not up for the task, well, I assure you, your competitors are more than happy to step in and take that customer off your hands for you. This is why, if you want your marketing to work, you really need to spend a decent amount of time peeling back the layers of your business and your offer and your messaging, and most importantly of all, your customers. Because the better you understand your customers, the better you're going to be able to create marketing that connects and converts and turns them into lifelong buyers for your business. Of course, this is what marketing is all about. And that's why the next thing you're going to want to do is check out the video I have linked up right here on Introduction to Marketing. So make sure to check that out now, and I'll see you in the next episode. Marketing helps people solve their problems by clearly defining and delivering solutions and really explaining the benefits of those solutions so they can get better results.